Tonight, Eunectes costs 99 DP.
What have I done?
Blemishine says Hikari are. And I tell you I love Null again.
I love Null.
Let's talk defenders, shall we? More specifically, one of my favorite operators, Eunectes, and my 9th favorite horse, Blemishine. I'm serious. Blemishine is mid. But apart from being my favorite method of torturing the old man, let's take a moment to really understand why Rhodes Island's Engineering Enthusiasts Club is incredibly powerful and incredibly unnecessary. First up, Maria, a Guardian Defender that is the embodiment of the phrase Jack of all trades, Master of none. She is outclassed in every one of her roles, but her main selling point is that she can fulfill all of them at once. Compared to normal defenders, Blemishine trades defensive skills for the ability to heal and bonk things that are hitting her. Or hitting on her. Her usefulness ultimately boils down to whether or not the math works in her favor. If it does, Blemishine is cool. If it doesn't, then you'll have to settle for more direct solutions. Skill 1 is Surging Brilliance, and just between you and me, it actually heals for more than I love Null, which is a lot. This is great if you need some burst healing and need Blemishine to heal herself, with the added bonus of being able to leave Maria to her own devices. Just plop her down and you're off to the races. Deterring Radiance is consistently okay if you need some damage and are trying to heal the entirety of Africa. Upon activation, Blemishine shines bright like a diamond, regenerating nearby operators' health, which includes usually non-healable allies such as Enmity Guards, Big Brother, and Kaltzit's Spine Demon. However, keep in mind that Surging Brilliance heals the same amount in a third of the time. I find it to be a nice middle ground. Fantastic if you're leveraging its ability to heal everyone in an area, and great if you're taking advantage of the moment's respite Blemishine creates for herself, plus the extra damage. But keep in mind that if you're using Deterring Radiance, that means you're not letting Maria unsheath her giant horsecock with Divine Avatar, which in the grand scheme of direct solutions, deals a pretty mediocre amount of damage, but does also heal for almost as much as Granny's Smile. This skill is mainly used for damage, and not for the healing, because honestly the amount of healing is completely overkill. Or overheal, I guess. Plus it removes Blemishine's ability to be self-sufficient, as she cannot heal herself. Regardless, Blemishine is never going to replace your big damage dealers. However, this skill is useful if you need a big wall, and later you need the wall to fight back. More on the healing later, by the way. Both of Blemishine's talents benefit her skills, and seem to encourage you to use certain operators. And if you want to, then I support you in your adventures. But please understand that if you're bringing Blemishine just to make Mudrock dizzy, I might have to pay you a little visit when we're done here. Speaking of things that make me dizzy, some say that her thighs have their own gravity field, and that her bed was once found to have tire tracks in it. All we know is that her name is Eunectes, a duelist defender that specializes in existing. Eunectes has a reputation as the tankiest operator in the game. The combination of high health, defense, health regeneration, sanctuary, and a medic girlfriend makes Eunectes, and anyone looking, incredibly sticky. But fortunately for our enemies, Eunectes only generates SP when blocking. Or does she? Eunectes' module allows her to generate a tiny amount of SP when not blocking enemies, which is game-changing on its own, but it also allows Eunectes to accept SP from other operators when unblocked too, and you're definitely going to need all of that SP for her first skill, which is not attack up, it's attack and defense up. To really dive into how good this skill is, I asked someone who was forced to use it all the time, Elite Zero player Danbo, and he responded, quote, "Her skill 1 is a secret promotion. I deploy her and forget about her. She can survive on her own really well with the S1 defensive stat buff. Throw in some healers, then she can tank anything and kill anything with the attack stat buff infinitely. No need to charge a skill like Cringe S3. End quote. Next up is Menacing Slash, which you shouldn't use because every boss nowadays is stun immune. Thanks a lot, Bybeak. Basically, for non-CC content, why stun an enemy for 18 seconds when you could just... Yes, okay, the skill comes up a lot faster than Iron Will, I get it, but if you learnt anything from my ASCARP video, you'll know that the ability to block an enemy is not guaranteed. Speaking of cringe, Iron Will. It makes a lot of numbers bigger and hippity hoppity bibbity bobbity boo, she's unkillable. Kind of. And this is where we bust out the power of friendship, because Lancet 2 Fangirl and I Will Hikari Ado You to Death are both operators who have extreme, yet extremely niche use cases that go hand in hand. What I'm talking about, of course, is big f***ing numbers. Patriot used to be one of the most formidable bosses in the game. However, newer operators have repeatedly trivialized dealing with what is essentially big numbers on a Wendigo-shaped stick. Additionally, newer bosses often feature a whole essay of abilities that make it so you have to actually interact with them, whether you like it or not. What I'm saying here is that they don't build them like Patriot anymore, and for good reason. Eunectes and Blemishine is a combo that only comes out of the closet when you want to beat a huge stat stick with huge stat sticks. Eunectes' unbelievable thickness combined with Blemishine's cute girlfriend dummy mummy dichotomy can stall essentially any boss that relies on having a PhD in mathematics, with the added bonus of also maybe killing them sometimes. So are they useful? Kind of. There are many ways to approach a problem, and Eunectes Shine is but one of them. This solution is more of a if you want to and if it works out, rather than you should. I don't believe that either Blemishine nor Eunectes is worth a recommendation. In Eunectes' case, she's almost always completely overkill with too many hurdles to get over. And in regards to Blemishine, she's too mediocre at too many things. However, she is at least mediocre consistently, and to be fair, does have a unique combination of roles she fulfills. Strong, but lacks the huge power spike you sometimes need. Ultimately, their performance is not really what you leveled them for, now is it? You were waiting for this section where I talk about Horn, weren't you? Well, you see, the thing is that Horn does damage, and